Most notable scandal, Mrs. Clinton's use of her personal email server while she was the sitting Secretary of State. We now know that the top secret material was communicated and that the FBI has taken possession of the personal email server. Today, though, the Washington Post is reporting that an attorney for the Platte River Network says that the server is, quote, completely blank and no longer contains useful information. Joining us now is former Republican National Committee Communications Director Doug Hay. Doug, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. First, your reaction to this Washington Post story that the Clinton email server is completely blank.
I mean, this shouldn't surprise anyone. I think we all knew that eventually this was going to come out, that the server was going to be sent to the government. And let's credit John Boehner and Trey Gowdy. Without the Benghazi committee, we wouldn't even have gotten this far in getting those Clinton emails. Of course, the server's blank. I don't think it surprises anyone. And this is a story that's continuing to develop. And every time that we see a change in this story, it reminds people of why they're uneasy with the Clinton candidacy. And this is the real problem for Hillary Clinton moving forward.
Yeah, but I mean, why is it that in all situations we are told that nothing is ever gone, that there's always a safety net when it comes to a server, that you will never be able to destroy anything? Do you think they will be able to get those emails back that were obviously scrubbed off of that server?
All right, we just don't know at this point, but that's where we're going to see the government forensic people really do a deep dive to try and extract whatever material is there. And again, this is more of the kind of slippery stuff that we see from the Clintons for decades now, and that's why people are troubled by her candidacy. That's why Democrats are uneasy. I think that's part of why you're seeing Bernie Sanders do so well and why Joe Biden is just waiting in the wings to see if there's a real stumble. And here's the thing, Maria. For decades, Hillary Clinton has very effectively blamed the vast right-wing conspiracy, blamed Republicans for everything. You can't blame the Federal Bureau of Investigation that's run by Barack Obama's White House for being the vast right-wing conspiracy here.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Bernie Sanders. Making up ground now with this email scandal heightening, is it the perfect time for Biden to throw his hat in the ring? Do you expect Joe Biden to enter?
I don't think anybody expects Biden to get in right now. Look, it's a real tough, to use a business term, it's a real tough barrier to entry for him in this campaign. Hillary's raised a lot of money. She's got a lot of key Democratic supporters in the early primary states. But what we're seeing with the Bernie Sanders campaign is there's a hunger out there for Democrats for something more. There's a split in the party. I think the smart thing for Joe Biden to do is to sit there and bide his time and see if there's a real stumble from Clinton, then to seize the moment and jump in.
I will challenge that, because if Joe Biden, hey, it's Dagen Mcdowell, by the way, if Joe Biden wants to get in this, he needs to start building his infrastructure. Pollsters, advisors. Hillary Clinton has already done a land grab, or tried to at least. But the Wall Street Journal is reporting in terms of fundraising that some longtime Democratic fundraisers have already said they would be willing to hedge their bets and help Biden raise cash fast.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the real challenges, though, that Biden faces, is a lot of the fundraising apparatus has been snapped up by Hillary. You know, go back to Martin O'Malley over the past couple weeks complaining that there are only 6 debates that start in October. You know, the fix is in at the Democratic National Committee for Hillary Clinton. That's a real problem for Biden. There are a lot of people in Washington who like and respect Biden, but it's a very tough thing for him to do.
On both sides of the alley, meanwhile, by the way, Jillian Turner. Weigh in here.
Well, you know, the other big issue here is that the Department of Justice's decision to go forward with a criminal investigation, I think, is going to be the crack that kind of blows open the Democratic primary and leaves room for candidates like the vice president to jump in the race. More than any other issue that the Clintons have faced, this is one with huge national security implications. And Washington policymakers are
and
jumping
she likes
on
to
the
forget that she has a credibility chasm bigger than the Grand Canyon, and that's what people bring to the table. She always acts like everything should be viewed in a vacuum.
And to Doug's point, you know, this is going to drag on throughout the fall. So for Joe Biden to sit back and do nothing is really the right thing to do right now. Let this whole thing play out with Hillary Clinton. Let it escalate as it has been. And then if the time's right, he can jump in.
Yeah, so it's all great points. Doug, final observation from you?
Well, I would say with Biden, again, wait your time here, because it's really tough to just jump in this race and get the key supporters in South Carolina, Iowa, New Hampshire. Hillary Clinton has really locked up that kind of campaign infrastructure. But you see these crowds with Bernie Sanders. There's a hunger out there in the Democratic Party. And we hear so much. I've dealt so much with a split and divided Republican Party. it's really clear, not only with Bernie Sanders, but with Bernie Sanders being protested, there's a split and a real chasm in the Democratic
You're
Party.
Right. Field is wide open. Doug, thanks so much. Doug Hay joining us there.
Anytime. Thank you.
We'll see you soon, Doug. Breaking news.